Hey, welcome to the RT Machine Podcast. This is episode 1. And
Season 1?
Season 1, yeah, episode 1. And we're here to give a little lowdown of what RT Machine is all about. And I'm going to turn it over to Ron.
Well, I guess we'll start out by telling how we even started the company, or how I started in this business. Jill likes my favorite saying. I'll give it to her right while she's sitting here. I always said I'm just a salesman that started a company, and look what popped up. So I started out selling machinery for a company called Carpenter's Machinery back in 1987. I was just in-house salesman, became a road salesman, and back in 1999, they became an auction company, and I didn't want to. So started this company and out of the basement of my house, and eventually moved to Chambersburg, rented some space, started peddling some machinery out of there until, what was it, Eric, 2006?
I think you bought the building in 2005, technically, right?
Yeah, I think it was end of 2005 was when we bought the building. Moved everything up in 2006, and we were off to running here in 80,000 square feet in Hughesville, Pennsylvania. And now we're up to probably 15 employees on our side, and we got the service team. We brought Derek on. When was that, Eric?
2015.
2015. Derek started with us, formed a service company, a separate company. Which him and Erik owned most of it, and that's added a lot to our...
Yeah, we have 35 people on the service team.
Yeah, 35 people.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I should write that down.
Yeah, I didn't even know
I got all the stats for you.
Why don't you give us a little lowdown of the service department?
Yeah, so we take care of everything that would be like the physical work, so outside of the sales. So repairs, service, preventative maintenance, engineering, parts, paint, rigging, basically anything that you can think of. So right now we have 11 technicians between our shop and on the road. Then we have 11 guys on our rigging team as well. So those are guys out doing moving machinery, working auction sales. They just doing general millwrighting type work. We have 2 guys in our engineering department, mechanical and electrical. 2 in the parts department, 2 in the paint shop, and then we have a project management team where we're doing different things for various customers. So we have 3 guys on project management running pretty large scale things for them, and then we have a couple apprentices and support staff on top of that. So covers a lot of things within the company. So
yeah, so we're full service. We do everything new, used, fix it. Some of us break it.
It happens daily. Erik, what did you have on the Straitoplane?
As far as a background on it, yeah, we've had a couple of acquisitions over the years, but the most recent one would be a company that was called Eagle Machinery, right?
yep, Eagle Machinery and Repair, and then they also had Straitoplane Inc. So
And they were based out of just outside of Grand Rapids, and kind of organically, we were one of their best customers for quite a few years running, and then just through an organic conversation, they said, "Hey, why don't you buy us? Because we're looking to retire." So a couple of months later, we did. That was October of 21, I think, right?
yeah, it was a cool deal because Rich and Teresa Fink, who owned it, Rich was actually the plant manager for Oliver Machinery when they finally closed down. He had worked for Oliver back from the 70s to about 1999, and then he bought the business and continued it as a parts business, and so just absorbing his knowledge was a fun part of that process. Of I think we're still working on that. Rich is still on the payroll for a couple hours a week, and we call him and get lost in the details of the old Oliver machines and.
That's easy to do with that old stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You're losing all that knowledge.
Yeah. So
Slowly going away.
So going up into our archive of all the old drawings and documents and everything, you can get lost for a whole day in there just going through stuff, going down the rabbit hole of the history of it. So
How about
And have a couple sneezing fits from the dust coming out of the archives.
yeah.
Good 1907 dust.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the detail though is just amazing. What we have stuff going back into the early teens and stuff, and just these guys did it all by hand, and it's nothing. Some stuff you almost can't duplicate on a computer these days with how detailed they are. So
Yeah.
What's crazy is he was trying. He was, in his downtime, Rich would go through the handwritten drawings or just the paper archives, and he would start writing CAD files, and he got pretty far.
yeah, it's a cool business though. That just the parts and the people you talk to and stuff, because and with RT Machine, the main business, we're dealing with guys that are in a production setting, and we are doing that with Straitoplane to a certain extent, but you're dealing with a lot of collectors and things. So this is their hobby. So they're very passionate about it, and they want to get these restorations they're doing perfect down to like every little handle and decal and paint color, the whole nine yards.
I told the guys, one other guy that I got an email in the beginning. I used to watch the sales at RT Machine. Guy asked for a birth certificate, and I sent you and Erik, and I was like, "What's wrong with this guy?" And found out that's actually something that's a big thing, part of the business.
It's huge. They're all about it.
Yeah.
So the birth certificate is basically the original sales order from Oliver. So it lists out all the specs, who it originally went to, what the weight was, how it was created, everything like that. And it's it's an interesting thing to see
That makes sense. People like their machines. They really love their machines. So
We're keeping the history alive.
yeah.
Yeah. And then
Probably before we go too far, we got to let everybody know who's in the room. I guess I never left everybody introduce themselves. So, of course, everybody knows I'm Ron Boose, the owner of the company, RT Machine anyway.
yeah, I'm Derek Kraling, part owner of the service company, and I run the service division.
Brian Kraling, technical sales.
Tell them where you cover.
I cover the New Jersey, New York area. Everything out in Long Island quite a bit. Jersey started one of our customers that actually got us into the podcast. Shout out to Green Street Joinery,
Absolutely.
that friends of ours over there that had us on 2 different times, and we enjoyed it and said, hey, why don't we start our own podcast?
Try this thing, yeah.
So, yeah, shout out to Jeff and Rob out there.
I'm Ryan Combs. That's covers Southeast Pennsylvania and Maryland, Delaware for our team.
Dean Brown. I started here in 2018. Started as a cleaner, and I'm in an office.
An emerging
Kinda.
podcast producer.
Yeah,
He still gets dirty once in a while.
it does.
He's the inventory czar. That's his title.
Had him out hanging pipe 2 months ago.
Beginning of April.
Yep.
I'm Erik. I'm Ron's son, part owner of the service company, and then basically operations manager for RT Machine. I kind of just handle the liaison between the two companies.
And everything I screw up, I dump on him. So that's, he never knows what his job is. Whatever I dump on his
Try not to
plate.
screw it up more.
So we want to talk about what we did this week, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, what's going on in the shop
Yeah.
right now?
Oh, a lot of stuff. We've got big Harlan reconditioning project. So that's a Harlan laminator that we're basically making like new. So all new controls, changing engineering on it to make it work the way the customer wants. And so that's been about a 10-month project.
High-speed paper laminators. A lot of people know what that is. How fast does that go?
That one is going, the target feed rate is 120 feet a minute. So
I think a lot of people wouldn't realize how we do that.
yeah. So, yep, basically putting a paper or vinyl product on a wood board. So MDF, plywood, whatever they want to run through.
Right.
So,
And you're remaking the whole in-feed and stacker system on the outfeed.
yep. So basically we're reconditioning the main frame body of the machine. We modified some of that to accommodate some design changes they wanted to see, bringing things into the 21st century with the controls and functionality. And then we did all the engineering for the in-feed, out-feed, and all the controls engineering as well. So all the fabrication work's done in-house, most of the machining work done in-house. So it's a pretty cool project. We also have a Newman 382. We're just waiting on the cutter head to get back from Newman. And that one will be buttoned up, but that was a full recondition. We have an Oliver 36-inch bandsaw. That was a full recondition as well. We're just finishing up the tires in our machine shop here.
Is that for a customer?
I think that one's for inventory.
That one's
Oh, was it?
RT inventory.
So,
Okay.
little plug if anybody was looking for a
Yeah.
36-inch Oliver
Looking for
bandsaw.
one, sure.
We also have a 12-inch North Tech or Leader Mech molder
Yeah, right.
for a customer. So that just came in. We're evaluating for that. And I got to almost turn around and look. It's changing every day what we have in here.
So you got the Oliver Stratoplaner show machines in there.
Oh, that's right. I almost forgot about that. That one's also available. That was full recondition. That's going to the AWFS show in Vegas. So that was actually a really nice machine coming in. It's even nicer now. Changed the paint job over to white, make it look a little bit more modern.
Yep.
All the wear components replaced, new bearings, new carbide.
Whole new electrical panel, right?
Yep, all new electric panel. So that one would be a really nice machine for somebody. So
Absolutely.
we might even have it sold before it goes to the show at the rate.
We're working on it. Right up the road.
Yeah.
Hey, we had that custom lineal sander unit. That's for one of your customers, isn't it, Ryan?
Yep.
Yeah, molding sander. We're just waiting to ship that. That one's ready to go. That was quite the adventure. A Della Via Devi profile sander, and
we confirm that's how you say it.
I don't know.
No.
That's how I'm saying it.
I say Della Vidova.
I say Delavadova because there was a basketball player that had that last name.
So that project turned into a whole other animal. What we thought we could do was, it had 6 heads on it, and we thought they were all identical. Well, it turns out that machine was built by hand, and every single part on that machine was different. And
Wow.
we went and made a whole bunch of parts thinking they were going to bolt on, and we had to modify every single thing, and it just spiraled. And I think we learned our lesson that we have to verify if everything's the same
right.
before we just start going down through it.
It didn't help. That was right through COVID when you couldn't get parts.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, COVID didn't
That's
help
just
on
been-
a lot of.
that's been a constant issue even now, and it's just the most random things. A month ago it was airline we couldn't get. It's like that should just be a
Yeah, you would think that's.
yeah.
There's a lot of parts or stuff that's held up in the shop right now because of parts.
Yeah.
Wasn't the gear drives on that machine? The machine shop started cutting them, and then they broke a tool while they were cutting. So then they were waiting 2-3 months for that tool to come back in.
Yeah, that happened, and then they actually, the machine shop we hired to make those, they screwed up on their measurements and made them the gear drives a slightly different diameter, which that snowballed. It took us so long to get them, we had to just change the design, the rest of the mounting structure to correct that. So simple problem. It was 1/8 of an inch diameter difference, and it probably cost us a week and a half of work of correcting problems. So
Wow.
Was it that one or a different machine that the lineal guides we waited months and months for, and then they showed up and they were wrong?
Is that accurate?
that was at AccuSystems.
Okay.
Yeah, I was not happy. That was one of those days where I think I just had to go home. There's no recovering.
Good times.
The Straitoplane it's kind of funny because we took a 36-inch machine to IWF last year, the Atlanta show, and sold it shortly after the show, and that just got installed this week. And this is the last week of June, and we're almost coming up on
The
a
next
year
show.
later, the Vegas show,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because the customer wasn't ready to install it yet.
yeah. She didn't want to miss out on that though. She locked that down pretty quick.
Yeah, it's nice when it happens like that, isn't it?
So yeah, I think they went down to the show thinking they were going to buy an import, and then they saw that machine. And
That's exactly what happened.
yeah, it just there's no comparison. They're totally different class of machine.
Yeah.
Did you tell Derek you went there this week?
Yeah. I don't know if I told you.
Yeah.
I was there. It's quite a place, doing all that reclaimed wood, and definitely a better machine for them because they run it hard, put it through a lot. Those import machines aren't going to hold up to that.
No, not at all. Especially when you've got, some of those other insert cutter heads and stuff. Where you get a nail from a reclaimed piece, it just tears the head up, and
Yep.
so that head that's in that will be a little more robust for them. And so,
Yep.
We almost have to do an entire podcast series on Oliver, going over all their different machines at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Rich ever coming down?
Yeah, actually, he's been asking when he want. We have.
Great podcast. Have him
Oh
over.
man, he could probably go on for
Yeah.
4 hours with
Yeah,
him.
for sure.
We have a little bit of organization to do before he's coming out. So we have a whole 40-foot shipping container full of fixturing from Oliver that we need him to come down and point out what it's for, and stuff that we probably should get rid of, stuff that we should keep,
Right.
and
Yeah.
that. And we've got almost 2 40-foot containers full of just wood patterns of all the old castings and I don't even know how much of it we would still ever use again, but you almost can't get
Yeah,
rid
you
of
almost
it.
got to keep it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There might be that day.
Yeah.
You just never know.
It's amazing the stuff that you sell for those machines. Things that you're like, man, I never think that somebody would break this, but
All right. So there's a way.
Someone's rough on equipment,
Yeah.
for sure.
yeah.
Sometimes unexpected things happen.
Yeah.
So
We just had our product training for saw stop today,
Yeah.
and some of the stories that guy has.
And we only heard 2 of them. Can you imagine
Yeah,
the rest of
I
them?
don't want to steal his stories. But
Yeah. Yeah.
They were good ones. No doubt about it.
Funny and sad at the same time.
yeah. They say, what, 250,000 saws they've sold now, and they've never had a failure on that brake.
what
That's
he's-
amazing.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is testament to the engineering on that side of it. It's pretty incredible.
yeah, and you think about how many schools and things that those are in that. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I was in high school, there was a couple kids that they nicked their fingers and did different things, and I can only imagine how many times they've been set off in a school.
Oh, yeah.
Probably just for kids that want to see it work.
Guarantee you, there's been some that have just tried it,
Yeah.
see if it would work. Yeah.
Somebody came back after lunch with a hot dog.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
There goes a $150 bill out
Yeah.
Right.
At least.
Exactly.
to get her back into. Yeah, it's funny in school like that. I was in wood shop, but I started working with my dad at such a young age, and so I was still in wood shop, but I'd go up to metal shop, so and basically transfer my grades. But one of the deals was I had to go in every week in the mornings and check all the equipment and stuff on the wood shop side, and table saws. One day, my Mr. Rita, the teacher, he comes in, and he says, "Hey, Crowley, go back there and check that table saw out. Something's going on with that thing." I go back, I flip the guard up. Somebody put the blade on backwards, and they're slinging boards out the back door,
No kidding.
left and right. Don't stop, just keep doing it till you figure it out.
Yeah, right.
Guy's trying to muscle the thing through the blade running backwards.
I tell you what, you're correct. There was something wrong with it.
Yeah. Hey, the blade. Who put this blade on? Jesus Christ, who did that?
Yeah. Believe it or not, we've done some service calls for that.
Yeah.
And the machines will still cut. That's what's
Yeah.
amazing. We had a scrap grinder, a Wyma scrap grinder. I don't know if you guys remember that got installed.
Alleghenies, yeah.
Yeah, and we couldn't figure out what was going on with this machine because something must have happened. The phasing was reversed for just the cutter head motor, but the rest of them were all correct. And we're like, man, this thing's grinding, but it's just tripping the overload, and we can't figure out why. Well, it turns out that they'll grind product in reverse pretty well.
Works quite up to.
Yeah, works a lot better with it running the right direction.
Yeah.
Probably makes a heck of a racket.
Yeah, for sure.
And earlier this week, a few of us were out at another one of our suppliers, Time Saver, and looking at some of their sanders and seeing their operation.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just happened to have one of the best service techs in the country sitting right beside me here
For sanders.
for Sanders. How about
Absolutely.
it,
I don't know about all that,
He's
but
retired now.
He definitely knows how to work on them.
looks like Time Savers is trying to make a few improvements over the past few years, and pretty interesting. They're looking at doing some of talking with their customers better, being able to do a digital troubleshooting over the phone through FaceTime and drawings, and working with customers who really don't have an electrical background, being able to troubleshoot over FaceTime. So it's kind of cool to see them move into the future like that. So it was.
Yeah.
Not sure if there was anything else. And there were a lot of things we learned out there. That was one of the
A lot of inventory. 118 machines sitting there,
Yep.
metal and wood. That's, but
Yeah. So at all of our customers, you need a sander. We're the place.
yeah,
118. I don't remember them saying that.
yeah. He said remember there was sanders everywhere. But that one guy said there was 118 of them in the building.
That were ready to ship.
Yeah,
Yeah. Some of the
impressive.
aisleways, much like our place, some of the aisleways are blocked with
yeah.
machinery.
It's getting pretty narrow around there, for sure.
And they had some cool kind of R&D projects going on in their showroom. Robotics has always, it's taken a long time for this industry, the woodworking industry, to get comfortable or even being able to justify some of the more efficient types of automation. And every year you go to IWF, you go to AWFS, and you see more and more machine tending and sanding with robotic arms. But most shops still just have a really difficult time justifying it. But Time Savers had a pretty cool, they have another division now that they're calling Time Savers Automation. And they were able to create a machine tending robot. And I don't think they have solid pricing yet, but it's going to be significantly lower than what you're used to hearing, because most projects you can't really do anything in terms of machine tending for under $200,000, and this is possibly significantly lower than that.
We're getting close to justifying a one-person elimination.
Yeah,
We're getting close.
Yeah. Most of the time, it's typically trying to eliminate 2 to 3 positions, but the cost is coming closer to
Yeah.
Yep.
the one-person recovery.
I think the big thing is as these robots get a little bit, they're calling them cobots, where they can work alongside somebody. It's really the safety integration that winds the cost up. So as these other cobots come down in price, I think the overall implementation price will come down. That'll really get the
it's going
justification.
to help a
raised.
lot if we can start selling them for a reasonable price.
Yeah.
So I was talking with some of their engineers. The safety concerns that they were bringing up is you can run them cobots with just a proximity sensor, slowing it down as people get closer, being able to run at certain speeds without all of the safety enclosures, and still being able to move it around. So they were.
Yeah, it's just huge in that industry. So as the years go on, it's going to the cost is going to come down, and I think you're going to see a lot more of them out there.
And we also visited Marine Johnson when we were out there, and they're kind of doing some of that too. They have some engineers now in the robotics division, so they're progressing in that same fashion. So I think it's the wave. It's got to get there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Stay
Marine Johnson
tuned.
has an impressive facility out there in South Dakota. That's one worth seeing.
Yeah, we weren't at that facility.
Yeah.
And they have a short stock gang ripsaw in their showroom that, or their, I guess that's their showroom.
Yeah.
Not much of a showroom, but
Right now it's also machine assembly.
yeah, yeah. So we took a look at that while we were out there. So we had a good week.
Nice.
Yeah, that one's still in the R&D phase, right? They're
Yeah,
getting
we're
ready to
looking
do
for a
beta testing with
beta
it.
testing site, which we're helping them with that, trying to.
So what are the recent arrivals for the used side? Anything interesting?
Oh, we had a pretty good week. Last week, Erik bought a shelling panel saw, and I don't know, somebody I think sold that today. Maybe.
Yeah, I got to ding the bell here just a couple minutes before the podcast. That was a rough one.
Have to get a gong in here
Yeah.
for the studio.
Good shout out to Miller Blake for that one.
Yeah, we definitely.
He ran me through the paces pretty hard today. If you guys don't know my New York customers, I blend in well. I'm trying to.
We made you sweat.
Yeah, he did.
Good negotiators.
he was one of the best for sure.
So that worked out really well. It just, as a matter of fact, it just pulled up out here this afternoon. So,
Yep. So it'll be going to its new home here shortly.
over there, and Derek's boys are going to install it.
Yep.
So all went well. Anything else this week? Dean, what'd you buy this week? Oh, that 312 gang ripsaw you bought in Canada.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's for a project, though. You already have
Yeah,
that
that's already sold.
sold, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Part of a whole system that we have to integrate.
That's another thing that we've been doing some more of is systems.
Yeah.
We got a couple of those we've already done. We got another one in the works here, which is all used equipment, a gang rip with scanner and chop line. It'd be an interesting project up in New York.
Yeah, that should be a fun project, I think.
Yeah. We did a gang rip chop saw for a pallets company a year and a half ago. something
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, that one. I think they're running that one pretty hard too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of what we do is having pulling a piece of product or equipment out for a company, and or either having another one rebuilt, ready to go right back in, and then we'll either take that on trade or redo that for one of their other facilities, or having a backup. So that's a pretty popular option that we do for quite a few customers, actually.
Yeah. It's been working out really well for us.
Yeah, we have some quite big ones coming up here that we're working on. So 4-state
Yeah.
project going
That'll
up.
be a nice one if that one goes through.
Yeah,
Take one planer out, we'll put a new one in, rebuild that one,
keep the
switch
rotation
them
going.
around.
they want to do 8 machines.
Yes, and then they're going to build on top of the 8 machines. So, yeah, it's going to be obviously a longer term project, but
Right.
it's going back to this older equipment that you just can't really duplicate today. That's where the reconditioning side really comes into play. Just makes sense to recondition the complete machine at a fraction of the cost of new, and even if you can't even get new in some of the pieces anymore.
Yeah, and some of these, especially bigger companies, you find they can get a pretty large repair budget, but their capital expenditure budget isn't nearly as high. So they can get approval a lot quicker to recondition a machine they already have on their floor versus buying another one.
So yeah, all those maintenance guys out there, you know who to call now.
Yeah.
We just gave you a back door to get your product done.
Well, especially some of them, some of the big companies, they leave their machines on the books for so long that
Yeah.
they can't get rid of them. So
For sure.
Well, that's one way to get back on your capital investment again and again.
yeah,
Yeah, I think, but most people don't realize is how embedded we are with every aspect of the business, and with the big umbrella that we cover, and just our technical background, just with all of our sales guys as well have come through some type of mechanical side of things, and just what we can lean on from within the whole company as far as the knowledge that goes just back 50 years basically on.
yeah, and we're very vertically integrated at this point. There's not a lot of things that we subcontract out to other people. So
Right.
Yeah, we got the machine shop really rolling good now.
yeah, I'd say we're about 75% of the way there. We're retrofitting new controls on a couple of CNCs that's dragging on, mostly because I can't say no to outside work. So I've got a disease I can't say no to.
It happens.
So we got one CNC we just retrofit with new Centroid controls in there. So that's already producing Straitoplane parts. We've got end links for feed chains on there right now, and then we've got 3 more machines to retrofit, a couple in progress. So, but we've already got. It's been really handy with this Harlan project we have sitting on the floor, because there's parts and things that need to be modified and just get done right on the fly. So where we used to send all that stuff out and you'd have a 2-week turnaround, and it really drags the project out. Now it's getting done same day and we can keep working. So
Yeah, he was burning out parts on the plasma cutter this morning.
no, that's been the best machine I think we've ever bought. That was one we had a bunch of tin work to do on a machine, and we had a subcontractor in that was looking at, it was like $12,000 to have them do all the work, and I found this machine for $7,500, and ended up paying for itself in the first job, and that thing runs almost every day now, just burning brackets and guarding and whatever other pet projects the guys think of. The one apprentice kid we have, he's got a Jeep, and they welded this silhouette of a fat chick on this bumper, and like the trucker girl silhouette. But
Oh, he's the one that stole the Daisy Duke's Jeep. Is that the Eagle Jeep?
yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I said that to him this morning. I said, "Hey, does Daisy Duke know you stole her Jeep?" And he was like, "I haven't heard that one before."
Does he know about the fat chick silhouette? Or?
Yeah. He found it.
I wondered what he was doing, because I think he was like putting it on or maybe adjusting it when I left the parking lot the other day. I'm like, what the heck's he doing?
So we keep it entertaining anyway. But,
That's for sure.
Shop, full fab shop too, right?
Yeah, yep. Full fab shop, paint shop. We pump a lot of work through the paint shop. That we got 2 paint booths in there, plus then a prep bay, so keeps it busy.
It's come a long way. Back in the day,
Absolutely.
we used to just brush the paint on.
Absolutely.
Open the doors and get the spray paint.
They weren't
Yeah.
very pretty, but from a distance they looked okay.
Yeah, no. Now we're on to an automotive finish system through Medallion, single stage. So they look really good coming out, and pretty durable system too. So give the guys that longevity out of the paint job, since it costs a lot of money to strip them down and clean them up. So got to put a good product on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the stuff coming out of the shop lately, man. The RTS just did 2 Marine Johnson 424s for us. Just finished both of them kind of back to back within a couple of months, and the before and afters are pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
they
the
absolutely
one
look
machine,
like brand new machines.
I don't know if you could even tell that it's not a new machine just looking at
Yeah.
the pictures.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
last
photos don't do it justice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, both of those are still available, right?
They're still available for sale. To get them, find them a new home.
Yeah. Well, somebody that needs one right away, that'll be a perfect fit for them. Good machines.
Yeah, we just became the dealer for CA Technologies. So now all the spray equipment between handheld and on finish line and adhesives, and then like that Maycore we have in the shop right now, that with the auto spray heads. So it gives us a nice addition to being able to supply our customers and them not having to go figure it out on their own. And the nice thing with CA Technologies as well, they have the finishing background, to really come in and help us with their reps. So I think that's a huge benefit, to our finish line of things. Because really on the finishes anymore, so much of that stuff changes on every 6 to 7 months, type of deal. And, what do? You got to have somebody that's actually on top of the chemicals and stuff and really help the customer get the results they're after.
Yeah. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit of your background, Brian? You haven't always been a salesman.
No, I haven't always been a salesman.
Well,
Well, yeah,
Kinda,
you
yeah.
probably have.
I was always slinging bullshit. So. No, I was in a family business, Crailing Industries, and we were known as a kitchen countertop manufacturer, but we did commercial casework, closet work. I did Schindler elevator for all of North America. We had 2 elevator lines running. So when you look at any of the elevators with the hung wood decorated panel, that's
Like,
The Holiday Inn Express has a ton of those.
yeah, I know. I look at
never
them all the
looked at
time.
the elevator the same way anymore. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we did another line where we actually had a special gluing process that we put the laminate directly to the metal part of the elevator. So it was a special adhesive we had made just for it, and that was for that application. Nobody else actually could purchase that adhesive. So, I started as a young kid through the business, so I was basically working with my dad since I was 11 years old and worked all the way up through. And so that kind of comes back to the background on the machining and stuff, since I was so ahead of the curve in the wood industry, just because of working with him all those years. And so my other background was machining and welding and painting, and that revolved into hot rods over the years. So, but no, pretty big facility. We were 44,000 square feet and 102 people at our biggest. So a lot of background on those type of things. And
They have a lot of knowledge on edge banders and CNC
Yeah.
routers, panel saws. You used to have a shelling at your place.
yeah, so panel processing is one of my biggest strong points of understanding. We had some pretty high speed lines running with gluing and hot pressing and between flatbed routers and point to point routers and verticals and rear load shelling panel saws and so we had four edge banders running every day, different product lines and things like that. So my background on that side of it's pretty deep, and embedded pretty well. So I think, the big thing is what our sales team brings to the plate, out in the field here, that we're not just trying to sell a piece of equipment. We're trying to fit the right piece of equipment into your facility without,
Absolutely.
because I hear that a lot. Somebody says, well, we never, he sold us this and then we never hear from him again. Well, that's not what we want.
Right.
We want you to keep calling me. And, I tell all my customers, I said, my phone number turns off. You need me, give me a holler. And, I think our friends over at Green Street, because they're pretty, boisterous about it because of their own podcast. And
Right.
I think we've been taking care of them pretty well. And like a lot of our customers. So, depending on what we're actually working with, we bring in part of our team that does the best in that application. And, I think it's working out real well for us.
Great. We're glad to have you.
Glad to be here.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what brought you to us, Ryan, and down here in the sales force?
It's started out on the service road and kind of came to work for you guys in the shop, and there's something missing about not being on the road and not working through problems with the customers. I mean,
You started out in school. You took classes for this.
yeah. So I went to the Vo-Tech school here in just up above Middleburg, Pennsylvania, and got into troubleshooting, electrical, and then started working on machinery during the summer, and started full-time on the road as soon as I graduated. And once that happened, got married, and wife wanted me home a little bit, so
Not too much.
a little bit.
Just a little bit more than you were.
Started working at the shop, and that was too much for her.
Honeymoon was over. Don't you have a place to go? Don't you have customers to go
On the
to?
road for a little bit.
No, she's great. There was something missing about not being on the road and not working with different people every day. So there was an opening on the sales team, and talked with Ron and Erik, and they're like, we'll give you a shot. So here I am.
And then you promptly sat around for a few months because COVID just started.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I started right as COVID hit.
Yeah, that's worked out though. I'm glad to have you on.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, great asset to the company for sure.
Absolutely.
It's funny you say about wanting to get on the road. It's like you get that itch. You've been in the shop too much. You got to get out on the road and go see new people and stuff. I think if I'm here for 2 or 3 weeks straight, I start to lose my
Been
mind.
here for 2 or 3 weeks.
No,
It's been a minute.
I think the last 2 months I've only been here maybe 4 days. The whole time we've been busy, and I don't know. We embrace the travel lifestyle though. My wife and kids, we got the camper, and we just go wherever the work is, and
Yeah,
that's
that's an unusual situation that you have there, but it's a very good one.
Oh yeah. Well, we said we had 2 options. Either I'm going to be on the road and not see the kids grow up, or we're going to pack everybody up and do it together. And unfortunately, Amanda works for us, and so
works
she
out.
works
Works
remotely. So and then she recently started her insurance business, so that's keeping her busy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's that a lot of people don't realize how much of a lifestyle this business is traveling on the road and hotels, and then trying to figure out how you can squeeze everybody in. And one day you're in New York and the next day you need to be in Minnesota or wherever it might be. So
Sometimes plans change and you're going the next day, getting on a plane or
Yep.
driving for 8 hours.
I'll be right there.
well, that was when Amanda and I first got married. She didn't understand. It's like, what do you mean you have to be in South Carolina tomorrow? Yeah, I need to go. I need to leave in 15 minutes, or I'm not going to make it.
Yeah.
Machines don't care about your plans; they just break.
No.
and
Well, we haven't broken-
background. Then.
Well, I started working for my dad and grandfather, and at 10 years old, sweeping the parking lot, stones back in the parking lot. So I didn't have the privilege of working inside for the first couple of years. I had to
That might be a little stretch.
Oh, it was at least I had to clean the loading docks, sweep the stones back in the parking lot, tidy up, and then I had the privilege of coming inside, and I'd run like the pocket hole machine for backsplashes and different things, and then worked on and off in the family business for all the way through school and stuff. I went to school for manufacturing engineering and machining, so machinist by trade. And while I was at Penn College, worked for another dealer and then came to work for RT part-time. And then after I graduated, I went back and I worked for a medical device company for a while, and then was doing some machining work for Ron on the side a little bit, and then kind of had the conversation that they were looking to start a service business, and came on and we started that. Then we did that for about 3 years, just me on the road.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, and then we brought another guy on, and then like that year it just kind of exploded. In 1 year we went from just me on the road to 5 guys on the road by the end of that year, and it's just every year it's just been crazy. I think we were going through the list today of how many people we've hired just in the last year, and it's just nuts.
Yeah, it's
So-
really exploded this year.
Yeah, and we've been fortunate. We found some really skilled guys. A lot of guys that different businesses like ShopVac went out or started to go out, and then came back up the road. But we got a couple good guys from there, and just different things that people fall in your lap, I guess, in
Yeah,
good ways. So, but
it's been good. So, Dean, you haven't said much.
No.
Tell everybody how you came to work here.
Oh, my dad, the truck driver, he used to haul machines for you guys. And right after I graduated high school, he says, we're going to go up here and talk to Ron or Erik, Mike. And Erik was here that day.
Yeah,
Like, hey, give this kid a job. He needs something to do. I got to get him out of the house.
That might be verbatim what he said.
So I started in the cleaning days and eventually worked my way into the warehouse.
yep,
And just this last Christmas party, you guys said you might have something in plan.
yep.
And now I help you guys out in the office. And
Yeah, he's working, assisting me and Erik, doing a good job, helping us with some of our paperwork, and
keeping you guys in line,
yeah,
chasing
he
you
does
down.
a really good job. We give him something to do, he gets it done, and helped Erik with this last liquidation deal. He was out on the road and cleaned up the machines, and they got it done in one day, the two of them. So it worked really well.
Yeah, it's been fun.
some days I feel like I'm annoying you guys, but
Not me.
I'm
You
like,
just asked me. I annoy him a lot.
that's just the social anxiety part of me. Just
So I think everybody knows how Erik started here, but you
Yeah.
can tell a little bit.
Blood.
He was.
You don't have a
He
choice.
didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah, right. No, I started, I guess, middle school probably, coming out in the summers. Early on, it was just messing around the shop probably, and then eventually I started painting, and they realized how terrible I was at doing that, and moved me on to various other tasks around the place. I've worked pretty much every job in this place except for technician over the years, and I went to college, went to Penn State for 4 years, just got a business degree, and there was never really any thought about what I was going to do. I was just going to come work for the company. And Dad and I were having this conversation the other day. Like, if you weren't doing this, what would you be doing? We were having a hard time coming up with answers. It's always something ridiculous. I'll be an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
But so yeah, here I am. It's been fun, man, because the company started in '99, give or take, and early on, Dad and Monty back in the day were working out of your basement,
Yep.
and I'd be right outside the door at 9 years old playing Grand Theft Auto 3 or whatever was out at that point. And he'd come out, stick his head out the door, and be like, "Turn the volume down." Yeah, at that point it was just buying and selling used equipment, and now we've it's taken time, it's taken a lot of work, blood, sweat, and tears, but we're
And good people.
finally a full service, vertically integrated team of companies, really.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of good people.
It's a hell of a crew, man.
It is.
And it's never boring around here.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That part, right?
Stay tuned for the R-rated podcast to come. The after
Oh
hours.
man, all the stories,
Yeah.
crazy things you
yeah.
run into.
Absolutely. That's what I ran into an old guy from Marine Johnson, Marv West, at that time saver thing, and we were telling stories. I think the rest of them finally got up from the table and left because he and I were just talking back. Remember this guy? Remember that guy? Lots of different.
You're like, yeah, that was before us.
Yeah,
Funny, but yeah.
yeah. Yeah, you don't know who I'm talking about when I bring up different names, but Marv knew.
Yeah.
They start going far enough back. It's like, yeah, I don't remember that
Yeah,
one.
never heard
No,
that name before.
no.
Is that guy still alive? No.
Yeah, definitely those old customers go way back, don't they?
Yeah, and the machinery dealer stories can just get crazy. Riggers, I got stories about those guys too.
Yeah.
So,
Too crazy.
well, I don't know, guys. We've been talking about an hour. I think maybe we'll just wrap this one up, or
Yeah, we're looking to have some customers come on.
yeah, do some
Following
interviews
episodes.
and
You know, we'd love to have people come up for a tour of the facility because I think that's where you really get the full picture of what we're all about.
oh yeah, we hear
Most-
that a lot.
Most people don't realize, we're 80,000 square foot here and on 25 acres. And
Yeah, there's not another dealer doing what we're doing at the scale we're doing.
No,
So
no, not at all.
yeah, we're on a different level. So
And we want to keep growing.
yep. So
If there's any topics or subjects that anyone wants to hear us talk about,
Yeah,
please comment.
send us a message. Yep, absolutely.
yeah, rtmachine.com. That's the place.
That's it. All right, cool. Wrap that one up.